Hello everyone. I'm Juan Sierra. I'm part of Apex Fusion Foundation. I've been working there for like past 2 years as director of infrastructure. I've also been in IOG before, so kind of plenty experience on Cardano space. And today I'm going to talk about Ouroboros Tachys, which is our CIP for a different type of consensus mechanism, which we think can help a lot in partner chains. So we already presented this and it's been in discussion. So the idea is to go over it kind of high level specifically to kind of show use cases, what was our thinking behind it and why we proposed it. And basically any of you that might find this helpful, happy to hear from you as well. And we can discuss later if you have any questions or just any doubts overall, but you're also welcome to give feedback here. Okay, so first to start, kind of we started thinking about Cardano in kind of the current stage where it is. So we think right now it's kind of more on a single chain, and a lot of people have been kind of prioritizing growing it into a partner chain or ecosystem, kind of more of a platform. So yeah, we think like the future is in partner chains in many ways that you can customize and kind of tweak to your needs, always maintaining Cardano as the main chain. And that's why this is also a proposal for partner chains. We don't intend to replace the Ouroboros browse mechanism here in any way. But we do think the ecosystem will benefit from partner chains and will help grow. We also think this is kind of where Ethereum in a way got a lot of adoptions because of this ability of growing ecosystem with different chains, always with sharing toolings, sharing security model. So we can benefit from what Cardano already built, but also customize it with different trade-offs for each of the needs. So yeah, we started here and we thought in Apex we actually did some work on reusing Cardano tech. We did some changes to the node, and we think it's good to give back and kind of find a way in which we can also contribute to the community and help grow other chains as well with this. So from there, when we started thinking in Apex Fusion how to build our product, we wanted to use UTXO. Most of the team had experience in Cardano, in IO and other companies, and we think determinism, well here, it's a feature, not a limitation, and a lot of the benefits we get from UTXO, such as like parallel execution of transactions with a non-site contention, being able to, right now with AI agents and all of kind of the new AI into blockchain approach, a lot of agents being able to interact parallelly with no dependency between transactions. We also think it's a great benefit of the model. Predictable outcomes and the UTXO model with the on-chain logic were a lot of the things that we think UTXO tech is really good at, and that's why we wanted to use it and grow it in our chain. So the thesis behind Tachys and why we did this proposal is to make Cardano forkable while keeping it interoperable. So reusing the stack, we didn't want to like have to recompile the node, start tweaking things. We actually did some changes in parameters to run some tests on the first version of our chain. But we think reusing the stack and all of the software that has already been built for Cardano, all the wallets, all the things the different partners have built, it's good to just build on top of them and not have to fork it and go elsewhere in a way. Also the customizable trade-offs, I mentioned this a bit before. The idea to be able to choose kind of what you want to win. Of course, you're always losing something, and we know here we lose a bit in terms of security. So this is for not all of the use case, but being able to customize and find what works best for your use case. So each partner chain specifies into one specific use case without needing to cover everything specifically. While the mainnet stays conservative, as I mentioned before, this is not an idea to replace the current protocol, but to build and offer an alternative for partner chains. And staying upstream, this is one of the most important parts. So following the mainnet hard forks, being able to continue and get all the updates that the Cardano chain is getting will allow us to also not need to be constantly checking, modifying our code, but have a single code base and grow from there. So basically what it is a variant of the current Praos protocol with a public slot leader schedule. So this removes the private BRF lottery So we gain performance here. We do lose DDoS, or we are more, let's say, open to the DDoS attacks here. But we think when we're working with smaller validator sets, like that loss is not really that big, because if you have 4 or 5 validators, DDoS attacks can happen in the same way. So we know it's kind of a trade-off there, but instead we gain a lot of throughput, to 4x block production rate, lower finality times, and yeah, with the dense predictable block schedule. So we presented the CIP for this. You can read it, and kind of why we stayed in Cardano and why not make it outside of the node. This is another instance of the consensus type class that already exists. So it's a modification on top of the current protocol, removing some of the lottery. We want to reuse the Cardano wallets, the explorers, all the developer tools without needing bigger changes. This also is made through an optional parameter, so it wouldn't need a hard fork. It's just if you want to use it, you can use it in your own project or partner chain. And we're always following the hard forks. Every feature the network gets would flow, and specifically no separate code base. So we think this really belongs within the node. We did have some questions around maintenance work in the node, if adding more code. Here we have a quote from the CIP discussion, and I think you can read it. But basically says the changes fit beautifully into this abstraction. We expect maintenance to be very minimal. And this is an approach, yeah, where if this works for sidechains, yeah, we hope it doesn't add more burden on the node team. So I'm going to speak a bit about Vector, which is our first adopter in a way. So here we did some tweaking on the parameters to be able to achieve the 10x throughput we have, so twice the block size and 1/5 of the block time. We were able to achieve the 99.9 finality within 30 seconds, maintaining the UTXO programmable model. So this was built by Duncan Coates, Philip Kant, Kevin Hammond, and Neil Davis, part of the well-known in Cardano community as well. We're currently running Praos, but tuned a bit. So the idea with Tachys is to be able to implement it also within the chain, with a specific consensus built for this use case. Yeah.
How do you lower finality here?
We worked like basically to make the higher throughput. You can discuss that in the CIP, or I can get more technical details later.
It's the lower block time,
but exactly.
And you have a shorter security window. Okay. I just tune K down, and you can do that because it's a small validator set and it's faster block time.
Yeah, we're working with a way lower validator set. This is not intended to replace mainnet either, so it's on specific like high throughput chains.
Does the public schedule that with finality as well?
Basically, while removing the private block schedule, we are able to reduce some of the steps needed for block production, and this allows it to run faster. Basically, that's kind of the idea behind it. So we have this live as well since December on testnet, and we've been running mainnet for some months already. We do have a layer 0 integration, so that connects to more than 150 chains. You can test it out as well. I'll leave the links after the presentation. But this would be one of the first adopters if Tachys gets approved. But we think there are many other partner chains that might benefit from this change. So these here are some of the main categories where we think this would be beneficious. Anything that is latency sensitive, DEXs, lending, anything with real world assets with requiring fast finality as well. With AI as well, when you're working with agents, we do have some development here on some test agents you can run to test the network as well, all executing in parallel and benefiting from these lower finality times. And any app-specific chains, so if you want to use Cardano tech for your own app with custom throughput parameters, we think this would empower you even more. And then a bit on the CIP itself. So we submitted it on the 11th of February. We had over 125 comments, a bit more right now. You can check it out directly on GitHub. We have the CIP number here. And right now we're working on the security model, or Duncan mostly and the rest of the team. to make a proposal for that. We're also going to apply for treasury funding, and we hope to implement it soon. And yeah, this is a bit on the team that has been working here. A lot of them, well, Duncan mostly, but the rest all part of the Cardano community for a while. We also work with Eternal. They building the bridges in Apex Fusion. They have a lot of experience here. And then Apex Fusion Foundation as the first adopter, and we have the Halate development team too. So yeah, the idea here, and it's kind of a short talk in a way, it's to at least show a bit of what we're presenting. We would like you to read the CIP with all the details and more information. You're also more than welcome to add to the discussion, either for or against. All feedback works for us. You can build on Vector. Our network is already live. It should be minimal adaptations since you're already working with Cardano. So that's pretty easy to test. And thinking partner chains, mostly, yeah, if you can use or would benefit from higher throughput, you can keep using Cardano tech, just more customized for your use case. So yeah, it's kind of a short talk. I know I ran a bit, yeah, sorry.
So, I want to ask you a question.
Sure.
That follows up on our discussion earlier. What is the motivation for the core developers to continue maintaining this after it has been merged into Cardano?
So there are two things we discussed before a bit on this. On one side, why, I think, I'll answer in a second, but I think having this within the Cardano node allows for a specification that can be shared among other partner chains. We do believe partner chains are the future, and we think the Cardano team should help on that. I know it might be a bit more burden on maintenance. We understand that. For me, the motivation would be to encourage other chains to implement this and just keep building on Cardano tech to allow more adoption. So we know it's more effort, but we also think it's worth it for the community, maybe increase that this would mean.
Well, my worry is more complexity, which can damage Cardano itself, right?
Or lower its release times.
Yeah, well, I mean, it will definitely affect the Cardano in some ways. But then all it takes is a wrong flag, and all of a sudden we disable protection for Cardano, and now it can be DDoS, right? So a stupid mistake like that can happen.
Well, we hope it doesn't. I mean, we do have trust on the node team. But yeah, this being like reusing the abstraction of Ouroboros within the node, we hope it's safe from actually having this on mainnet. The idea is for the protocol to be resilient enough to not have that type of mistake, right? We know it's more complexity, of course, but also we really think the approach and the benefit this would bring to other partner chains would be worth it. But it's up to a discussion, and that's why we're also presenting it as a CIP, and we're open to any feedback. Anyways, Duncan as well is pretty motivated with this. So yeah, he's a very, I don't know how to put it, but he does like to complete the things he thinks about that are great. So that's really good, but you're open to also contribute in the discussion. We do have some points on maintenance and how to lower the effort for the rest of the team here. So we're really open to that, to any suggestions. And the idea is to kind of open the discussion. We would benefit from this a lot. We think other projects would as well. So yeah, the idea is just to open the discussion, and more than welcome to discuss this later as well, to get any feedback and find the best way forward with this. Yeah. So,
I had
yeah,
a question. So you mentioned before that you're using currently already some modifications of this is about the Haskell Cardano node, right? And you have some modifications right now. And I wondered also, I even commented on the SIP, how will this basically be used in Vector, right? Is it there going to be a Vector node, or is it a Cardano node in Vector mode, or is it you compile it into it, or is it a config file? Like, what is your vision there, and how this reuse is going to happen?
Sure. First, yeah, we do have some changes on the node. We tried, we've been working over a year on this to get these faster throughput times. We did have some issues with parameters that were hard-coded and a lot of changes there. Nothing too big on the current code, but we did need some changes. On how this works, the proposal is to have an optional parameter. So if you were to run a partner chain that would benefit from this different consensus protocol, you can just put that flag on. So it's the same node, the same code, just with this flag. Without it, it will keep running as regular Cardano mainnet as it does right now. So it wouldn't require any change on running networks. It's just if you want to use this, you will need to add the flag. And that should be enough. That's how we see it. At
you
least.
say runtime configuration,
Yeah.
which is dangerous.
Yes, it is.
Very dangerous.
So that's why my suggestion would be to make node extensible, have an interface that allows you to extend it as a different executable that runs in a totally different mode.
Yeah, compile it this way or that way.
Yeah,
Right,
you compile totally different binary and you run it for partner chains, but for mainnet you use the original version of the node.
And call it different, right? So you don't
Yeah.
accidentally run the vector node on Cardano mainnet configuration, right? Because then if you happen to have 10% of stake, that is going to be messy.
I mean, we will be open to that. I think
Yeah,
the main point here is kind of standardizing how this works. So if any partner chain wants to use it, they already have a definition and this available. Whether you need to recompile the node, that could also work for us. It's more about being able to standardize this and not having every chain do it their own way, just modifying the caller around. But yeah, I mean, anything that improves safety, we're open to it. It doesn't necessarily need to be a runtime flag, but
Yeah, I think it would help the conversation if we have a clear journey of what you believe. Like this is how Vector is going to use the Cardano node repository. It's called like that. How is this going to be used, and what's the developer journey basically for Vector, but maybe also other partner chains? How this kind of should happen, and I think this would help the conversation there a bit.
yeah, that's
unambiguated.
yeah, that's a great point. We can definitely add more on that on the CIP as well. And yeah, I think there was a question over there. Yeah.
Oh yeah. You mentioned build on Vector. Does wallet support Vector now? And do you need to like change the network ID or something, or like make
Yeah.
transactions really compatible?
We have Eternal Wallet, so supporting our chains, so you can use it there. It's just another chain ID, and it works. So it's really easy to integrate. If you already have Cardano supporting any other wallet, it's easy to add it there. So yeah.
But just to follow up, that means that other wallets would have to support Vector for now.
Yeah, if you want adoption on other wallets, yes. The change is minimal though, because it's still Cardano tech, the same node and everything. But yeah, it does need a change in the wallet.
So it's literally just a consensus, everything. So it's transparent to developer integrators.
Yeah. I mean, for if you have a wallet, you want to support it, you just configure it, and yeah, it doesn't require much of the change. And actually, using Tachys, the idea is to make it even easier to switch and to support other partner chains. So, any other questions? Yeah.
I have a new question. I don't think I know what a partner chain is. Do you just mean you're using the same stack?
Yeah, exactly. So let me go back to the slide.
And
So
if that's the case, then like, do you get any interrupt benefits out of the box?
yeah, so basically, yeah, we reuse the stack, so the same. The biggest benefit here would be being able to use the tools that you already know for Cardano here, so you don't need to.
Can you rely on any of the same security guarantees?
With this, you mean? Or
I
like
mean, like-
Tachys as well, or specifically what?
I guess like in this perspective, like preview and pre-prod are partner chains of mainnet. From that interpretation,
Yeah.
can you? But given that they're like designed the same, if you're running the like very small set of validators, could you also get out of the box quite easily? Some kind of like leaning on the stake exposed on mainnet.
Not directly with Cardano mainnet. We do have on our own project. We do have two chains. So Prime has over 200 validators working, and then Vector is kind of on top of that with a reduced set. So we're always relying on Prime for staking and everything. This is more on operational side. So that's how we think this. It's not specifically meant for mainnets or a lot of validators, but it's like a separate chain that you can connect, of course, same tech and everything. But yeah, we're looking for smaller validator sets of known validators as well, so it's a different use case, and it doesn't directly correlate to mainnet staking on Cardano.